त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशङ्करं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मद्देशिकञ्चापि नमामि विद्यै। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितप्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगर्तो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। Pranams everyone. So we are in the third chapter, Sloka number 42. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Indriyani paranyahuhu Indriyebhyah param manah Manasastu para buddhihi Yo buddheh parasastu saha. So in this section, Bhagavan is talking about desire, kamaha. And Bhagavan had given where does the kama reside, what are the features of kama. Kama swarupa he had given, then kama, where does it reside, it gave. Now he is giving, in the Sloka 41, he had given how to win over kama. How to win over kama is given in two steps. In the first step was basically Indriya Nigraha and Mano Nigraha. That is to weaken the desires. Now in this Sloka 42, he is talking about how to, 42 and 43, he is talking about how to remove desires totally. And how to remove desires totally, it can only happen through Atma Jnana. We saw how Atma Jnana will be able to remove desires totally in the last class. Because desires come out of Apurnatvam. Atma Jnana is about to realize that you are Purnaha. And therefore, if you are full, if you are contented, if you see yourself as complete, there is no question of any desire in the mind. Now, in this sloka, as I said, Bhagavan gives Atma, not only he says Atma Jnana is the medicine for curing the disease called desire. He is saying, he is giving Atma Jnana itself. And for that, what we saw, initially it is, we have an Atma Ajnana, we have an ignorance of what is Atma and what is Anatma. And we take our body and mind to be self. We wrongly identify the body and mind to be the self. The self, when we say it should be considered as Atma. Who am I? I am Atma. Where is the Atma? I take the body and mind to be the Atma. And we have mixed up. Basically, we have mixed up Atma and Anatma. And what is a mistake that we are doing is, generally speaking, whatever I am able to experience or be aware of, I am not that. This is the general theory. I mean, if I am able to see the book, I'm not the book. I'm able to see the laptop, I'm not the laptop. Anything that is, whatever I am aware of is said to be drig. Whatever is in my awareness is said to be drig. What is the thing that is aware of all these things is called as drig. Drishya and drig. The things that are in awareness of me, the book, the laptop, even my body, the mind, the intellect, are all drishyam for me. These are things in my awareness. But we have wrongly taken that to be the drig. So this misunderstanding is being cleared by Bhagavan in this shloka. And for this shloka, actually, Bhagavan has taken it from Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad, there is a mantra. And that same mantra here, the Kathopanishad mantra is actually given in this slokas with some slight changes in words. The Kathopanishad mantra says, Indriyebhyah parāḥyartha artebhyascha param manah manasastu para buddhihi buddher atma mahan parah mahatah parama vyaktam avyakta purushas parah purushana param kinchit sa kashta sa paragatihi. This is the Kathopanishad mantra. The same two verses Bhagavan condenses in these verses, and Bhagavan gives the, as I said, in the last class, Bhagavan uses a particular method, or in this slokas there is a particular method that is used to reveal Atma, and that particular method is called as Arundathi darśana nyāya. Now what is Arundathi darśana nyāya? Arundathi darśana nyāya means gradual revelation. It's a gradual revelation. In our weddings normally there is this event within the wedding, where we have this Arundathi darśana. So one has to see the Arundathi star, and the thing is, this Arundathi star is extremely subtle, and therefore a person will not be directly able to see this. So what happens is, first the person has shown the grossest star, grossest luminary, like the moon. And you first see the moon, okay, and then you see on the direction to the right, you see a bright star, and then this person asks, is that Arundathi? No, that is not Arundathi. Now from that star you go down, you see another star, I see. Is that the Arundathi? No, that's not the Arundathi. So from there you keep moving, you go step by step until you reach the star Arundathi, and each time the person asks, is that Arundathi? No, it's not. You will have to say no, and then you go on to the next one. So gradually, in a few stages, the Arundathi star is revealed to that person. This gradual revelation is known as Arundathi darśana nyāya. There is also equivalent nyāya in our philosophy, which is called as Shankaracharya nyāya. Shankaracharya nyāya means, first a tree, you take a tree, you show the tree, then from the tree you show the branch, and then you go to take the tip of the branch. Are you able to see the tip of the branch? Then within the tip of the branch, are you able to see two twigs there, which are bifurcating? Now between the two twigs, are you able to see that particular star? That is Arundathi. So it is called as Shankaracharya nyāya, means through the branches of the tree you reveal the star. Now Vedanta uses kind of a similar method of removing step by step, one after the other, thereby finally revealing the Atma. And there are multiple methods. One is called as Pancha Kosha Viveka. Pancha Kosha Viveka. Arundathi darśana nyāya, Pancha Kosha Viveka is almost same. It's the same. So in the Pancha Kosha Viveka, what we do? First we reveal the grossest, then the subtle, and then the subtle. So what is the essence of this sloka? The essence of this sloka is Atma is beyond the five koshas. Atma is beyond the five koshas. It is beyond the three sareeras. People do not recollect what are the Pancha Koshas. We will be revealing this now again. We'll discuss that again. The three sareeras, you should know: Stula, Sukshma, Karana sareeras. Atma is beyond these three sareeras. Atma is the one that illumines these sareeras. What is the Stula Sharira? The Stula Sharira is the physical body. The Sukshma Sharira is basically the mind, intellect, the Pancha Pranas, the Pancha Jnanendriyas, the Pancha Karmendriyas. All of them put together form the Sukshma Sharira. And then the Karana Sharira is the cause behind the Stula and Sukshma Shariras. Clear? The Pancha Koshas also we have discussed earlier. Pancha Koshas. Now these Pancha Koshas are not physically separate entities, but it is the same three Shariras. They are being divided in a logical manner for us to understand. And what are the Pancha Koshas? Annamaya Kosha is there. And within the Annamaya Kosha, you have Pranamaya Kosha. Within Pranamaya Kosha, you have Manonmaya Kosha. Manonmaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha. Then finally, Anandamaya Kosha. Again, when I say removal, it's not physical sheet. So it's not that I remove the physical body, then I see the prana, then I remove the prana, I am able to see the mano. It is just for understanding we have these koshas. So now if you go into this sloka, so Indriyani paranyahuhu indriyebhyah param manaha. Indriyani paranyahuhu. Indriyani we know, the 10 sense organs, the 5 organs of knowledge, the 5 organs of action, the Pancha Jnanendriyas, the Pancha Karmendriyas. These 10 sense organs, Indriyani Parani Ahuhu. Ahuhu means are said to be. These 10 sense organs are said to be. When somebody says they are said to be, then the question is asked, who is that? By who? The answer is by the rishis. By the rishis, we'll have to add that. They are said to be what? Parani. Parani means superior. These 10 sense organs are said to be superior. If we say superior, then we'll have to say to what it is superior. Now that is not mentioned here, but it is implied. It is implied that these 10 sense organs are superior to the stula sareera, the physical body. The physical body is also known as the Annamaya Kosha. The Annamaya Kosha is made of the physical body. So these 10 sense organs are superior to the Parani Ahu. They are superior to the physical body. Now, next section. Indriyebhyah param manaha. Second part is Indriyebhyah param manaha. Indriyebhyah. Here, Indriyebhyah means compared to the intellect. Indriyebhyah means compared to the intellect. Manaha param. The mind is superior to the intellect. Then, manasastu parabuddhihi. This will be slightly confusing, but note it down. We will actually do a vichara. Manasastu parabuddhihi. Manasaha, compared to the mind, buddhihi, intellect is indeed superior. Then, yo buddhe paratastu saha. Buddhehe means compared to the intellect. Yaha parataha, that is superior. Compared to the intellect, that is superior. What is that?
Soul.
Tu saha. Bhagavan says, tu saha. Tu saha means is indeed that. What is that? Saha, what means here? Saha means Atma. So they declare that the sense organs is superior to the body. The mind is superior to the sense organs. The intellect is superior to the mind. And that which is superior to the intellect is indeed, Bhagavan says, indeed that means self, indeed Atma. That which is superior to the intellect is indeed Atma. So I'll repeat. The sense organs are superior to the body. Superior, it is mentioned, to the body. We have to implicitly add that. It is implicitly mentioned, so we have to add that. The mind is superior to the sense organs. Indriyebhya manah param is, I said, compared to the intellect. Actually, it is compared to the sense organs. Indriyebhya means sense organs. Compared to the sense organs, the mind is superior. And then the mind, manasastu parabuddhihi. Compared to the mind, the intellect is superior. And then compared to the intellect, that which is superior to the intellect is indeed Atma. So, this is what the Sloka says. Now, we will do a small vichara. But before that, when we say I am sitting. When I say I am sitting, the I is referring to the physical body here. Because the physical body is the one which is sitting. So, we always recognize I to be either the body or the mind most of the times. Now, sometimes I say, I am angry. Now, what happens? We are actually moved the I from the physical body to the mind. So, from the Stula Sharira, we have moved the I from the physical body into the Sukshma Sharira. From a body standpoint, we have moved it. So, this way we are actually moving one after the other. Suppose if I say, I am the physical body, then afterwards I say, these are mine. We are taking the sense organs to be, whatever we see through the sense organs to be mine, as in this, whatever I smell is mine, whatever I possess is mine, whatever I see is mine, whatever we recognize the worldly objects, wherever we recognize the worldly objects to be mine, what happens? This object is seen by my eye, my eye meaning EYE, and therefore these belong to my eye. I recognize the objects. When I recognize the objects to be mine, I recognize the self to be the sense organs at that point of time. At that point of time, what happens? The self is recognized, the sense organs are recognized to be the self. Then when I say I am angry, I move from the self to be from the sense organs to the mind. So each time I keep moving. And here Bhagavan says, he uses the word parāḥ. Parāḥ, if you see, Indriyani paranyahuhu, indriyebhya param manah, manasastu parabuddhihi, yo buddhe paratastu saha. This word parāḥ is a significant word. Parāḥ generally means superior. So there is a gradation here. A gradation of superior thing is shown. This is superior. Superior to the previous one. Then the next one becomes superior to the current one. So on and so forth. But the word para has also got philosophical significance, which in the Kathopanishad commentary, Shankaracharya says, the parāḥ means three things here. The simple meaning for it is parāḥ means superior. But it also signifies three other features. One, parāḥ means sukshmaha. Sukshmaha means it is subtle. So then when I say one is parāḥ to the other, one, it is actually superior. Two, it is also subtler than the other. So first meaning is superior. The second meaning is sukshmaha. The other meaning is also there. That is called as mahantaha. Mahantaha or vyapi. Vyapi means pervading. So when I say this is parāḥ than the other, then this is more pervading than the other. That is the another meaning. The last meaning, so total 1 plus 3, the last meaning is it is antashtaha. Antashtaha means it is closer. It is closer than the other one, the previous one. So there are, one is superior, the other is, it is more subtler, it is subtler, It is more pervading and it is closer. These are the three other meanings for parāḥ. Sukshmaha, Vyapi and Antastha. So what happens when we move this I from one to another, we will see that the next one is more subtle, more pervading and more close to the Atma. And keeping thus, we will see the gradation. So when we look at it, when we compare to the physical body, the indriyas are more subtle, definitely. The indriyas are more pervading and they are closer to Atma than the physical body. Compared to the physical body, the sense organs are more subtle, more pervading and more closer to Atma. When we say Atma, we have to understand the I, the correct I, what I consider to be I is not here. The I as in Atma, the self. For us, what has happened? The I has gone out too much. From the Atma, it has gone out too far until the physical body it has come down to. So from there, we have to move this identification of I from the physical body one by one to the Atma. So what happens? First, I have to remove the physical body identification. I have to remove this I from the physical body identification. I have to move it to the sense organs. So I have to remove this abhimana, the identification that I have from the stula sareera. I have to move it first to the indriyas. Indriyas are subtler, more pervading, more closer, or rather closer to the Atma than the physical body. Now, comparing to the indriyas, the mind is much more subtler. The mind is more pervading. And the mind is closer to Atma. Therefore, I have to move the abhimana from the sense organs to the mind. The next is buddhi. Buddhi meaning intellect. Intellect is closer to Atma than mind. It is subtler, more pervading. Therefore, I have to remove the abhimana or the identification from the mind. I have to move that abhimana to the intellect. Now the question will ask, why do I need to go all these steps? Can I not just identify directly with Atma? Why do I need to go so many steps? Why can't I go directly to Atma? The answer is, we cannot. It's not possible. It is not possible to directly reach there. Because the Atma is so subtle that it is very difficult for us to identify. We will have to go from slightly step by step, more subtler, more closer, more pervading objects or identification before we reach the identification of Atma. We have to do this identification things from step by step only. So here Bhagavan says, Indriyani paranyahuhu Indriyebhyah param manah. Manasastu parabuddhihi yo buddhi paratastu saha. Here he says, they declare the sense organs to be superior to the body. The mind is superior to the sense organs. The intellect is superior to the mind. And that which is superior to the intellect is the self, the Atma. So that I, the Atma, that Atma is neither the body, nor the sense organs, nor the mind, nor the intellect. It is not entwined into these. We have to understand the Atma is not entwined into these. Atma is separate from the body, separate from the mind, separate from the intellect. All these four objects, the physical body, the sense organs, the mind, the intellect, they are actually objects of my knowledge. They are drishyam. Atma is drig. Atma is the subject. All of these are objects of experience. Body is the object of my mind. Mind is the object of my knowledge. Sense organs are the object of my mind. Mind is the object of my knowledge. And I, the consciousness, I am aware of everything. That I is the Atma. That I is Atma, Bhagavan will say it in the next sloka. Here he has just completed Yo Buddhe Paradastu Saha. He just said that which is superior to the intellect is indeed that. He has just given a pronoun. He has not referred that to as Atma here in this sloka. That he will do it in the next sloka. So this is the essence of this shloka. The essence of this shloka is basically, if you want to give single phrase answer, it is Pancha Kosha Viveka, or we can say sareera traya Viveka. So we keep removing this anatma step by step and arrive at Atma. Atma, which is the witness principle, the awareness principle, the existence principle, the consciousness principle, the bliss principle, Sat Chit Ananda. That awareness is Atma. The Drik Drishya, we had already seen this earlier in the second chapter. If I remind you of an example, you would be able to remember that. The example is basically the photograph. When we see a photograph, we can be assured that a camera was there. Otherwise, there cannot be a photograph. The camera is never seen in the picture, but camera's existence can never be doubted. Similarly, the awareness is never seen. We cannot experience our awareness. I cannot go into a meditation and say I am going to experience Atma. Atma can never be experienced, but its existence can never be questioned. The fact that I am able to experience everything else in this world is the proof that I exist, the Atma exists. I, the awareness, it proves everything, but it by itself does not require any proof. That awareness is Atma. And that I should know about this Atma and I should own up to this Atma. That is the essence of this sloka. Now we'll go to the last sloka. Sloka 43. Evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmana atmana jai shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmanam atmana jai shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. So here in the previous shloka, Bhagavan said Atma is different from Anatma. That he gave step by step. Now we could have got a doubt there. The sense organs, the mind, the intellect are all part of Sukshma Sharira. They are all part of the subtle body. How could the Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita say that one is closer to the Atma than the other? As in, all these are a part of the subtle body. Which one? The sense organs, the mind, the intellect. But then how could, if they are all part of one, how could it that one part of it is closer to the Atma and the other part is not closer to the Atma and compared to the others? So what we have to understand is, when we said it is closer, it is not from the reference of distance. It is with reference to the identification. We are not talking about physical movement in space. When we talk about identifying the Atma which is within this physical, subtle and Karana Sharira. It is about reference, the reference of this, it is with reference to identification only. So a person can renounce the identification from the physical body First, he has to do that. Only then he will be able to identify himself with the sense organs, and then he has to renounce himself from the sense identification from the sense organs. Then he has to renounce the identification from the mind. It has to happen step by step only. That is why Shastras have given it in this manner. We cannot let go of identification from all these things in a single step. From tomorrow, I am not going to identify myself as the physical body. I am going to identify myself as Atma. That is not going to happen. It will not happen. There is a krama. Krama means an order that is given by Shastras. That is how we can do it. Now here Bhagavan is concluding this sloka. Evam buddhe param buddva samstabhyatmana atmana. Samstabhyatmanam atmana. Evam buddhe param buddva. Evam means thus. Thus, buddhe. Evam buddhe param buddva. Evam, you take the buddva as the last one. Buddva. Buddva means knowing. Thus knowing. Evam buddva. Thus knowing. Knowing what? Knowing that the self. Param buddhe. Knowing that the self is beyond intellect. Param buddhe. Buddhe, the second buddhe here refers to intellect. Thus, knowing that the self is which is beyond intellect, knowing that the self to be the witness principle that is beyond the intellect. What do we understand here? When we have the identification of self on the sense organs or the mind or the intellect, I take on those characteristics to be my characteristics. When I say I am short, I am fair, I am tall, I am beautiful, I am young, I am old, I identify with the physical body. When I say I am angry, I am in love, I am agitated, I am depressed, I feel happy, I identify myself with the mind. So whatever characteristics of that particular body or part of the body, I take them to be my characteristics when I identify myself with them. When I do not have identification on them, then the characteristics or features are not mine. How, for example, when we have a house or a vehicle, when we purchase a house, when we purchase a vehicle, a car or something, if there are problems in that, what happens immediately? I feel as if I have some issue. It constantly bothers me. When I look at that house and I am not happy with that, whatever I see, I am constant. When I see that the house is not in order or something, I am unhappy. Suppose there is a problem in the house, there is a plumbing issue, I am unhappy about this issue because it is my house. What happens after we sell that? After selling, the same house has got plumbing issues. But am I unhappy? No. Because the problems are not mine. Whose problems is it? The problem is to the person who has bought it. The person who is attached to it. So what do we understand from this is, the shortcomings are not the reason for sorrow. My sorrow is not because of these issues. My sorrow is because I am identifying myself with those shortcomings. And they are the cause for my sorrow. If the house has a small crack, if the car has got somebody had, what do you call that? Run a keychain on the bonnet or something. Is this as if the crack itself is on me? But once I sell it, I become a jnani. I'll become a sthita prajna. Whatever happens to the house, whatever happens to the car, I am unaffected by it. The same thing goes with the same thing holds good for this body also. The stula sareera, the sukshma sareera, the indriyas, the manaha, the buddhis and all those things. If someone finds fault with this body, we get angry. If someone says, don't you have eyes? Can't you see properly? We get angry. If they find a fault in our mind, we get angry. If someone says, you do not have compassion, you do not have any love, we get angry. Or we say, you get angry for no reason, we get angry. But if someone finds a fault with our intellect, we get angry. Don't you have any brains? They say. Can't you take the decision properly? Are you stupid? They ask, we get angry. So if someone finds a fault in our decision, when will we not get angry? We will not get angry only if we have this attitude that this buddhi, this intellect is not me. When somebody says, are you stupid? And we don't get angry, it's only because one, you should be very, very thick-skinned, or that is another thing. That is different. But if I have this attitude that this intellect is not me, that Bhagavan has given this to me, and this intellect is capable of taking some wrong decisions too, and that we are able to see this intellect as an object that is different from me, then if I am able to find it that they are actually finding fault on something that is other than me, they are not finding fault in me, I will not get angry. So I should be able to recognize that all of these are the objects for the self. They are not me. Whether it is my mind, it is my mind, it is not I. When I say my book, that means book is not me. So similarly, I say my mind. My stomach is giving a problem. I am not the stomach. My mind is not clear. That means I am not the mind. That knowledge should dawn on us. So when will it dawn on us? When we see ourselves as witness principle. When we see the body and the mind as objects. So here Bhagavan, when he says, understand you to be different from these, he conveys, you are different from the basis of karma. You remember where were the kamas residing? Basis of karma? The indriya, manaha, buddhi. Bhagavan had given that in the previous slokas. So he says, you are different from those bases. And what happens if we are not able to see ourselves different from them? We take their fault as ours. If we are so attached to someone, say our children, somebody criticizes our children, we get angry because the identification of self, I, has gone beyond the body, beyond even our physical body. It has started to identify with another physical body. And therefore, if anything happens to them, that person, we get hurt. So here Bhagavan says, forget the other physical body. Even you should not be able to identify, you should not identify even with your own mind, with your own intellect, with your own sense organs. If we are able to see ourselves different from them, what happens? I don't take their fault as mine. If somebody finds a fault in my physical body, in my sense organs, in my mind or my intellect, okay, we take it as, okay, that's their fault. Yeah. I am not at fault. I am using them. They are my instruments. They are not me. That's why in Nirvana Shtakam we say, Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham, nacha shrotra jihve, nacha grana netre, nacha vyoma bhumihi, na tejo na vayuhu, chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Mano buddhi ahankaram chittani na aham. I am not the manaha, I am not the buddhi, I am not the ahankara, I am not the memory. All the Sukshma Sharira. Nacha Shrotra Jihve, Nacha Grana Netre. I am not the sense organs. I am not the ears. I am not this Grana Netre. I am not the eyes. Grana means nose. Nacha Vyoma Bhumihi. Na Tejo na Vayu. I am not even the Pancha Bhutas. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. This is the Vedantic training. Bhagavan condenses everything here and says, Buddhe Param Buddhva. Understand yourself to be beyond the intellect. Next question is, is it enough if we understand it? Do we need to do anything more? Bhagavan says, Samstabhya Atmanam Atmana. Samstabhyam Atmanam Atmana. Atmanam Atmana means what? Understand you to be Atma. Atma, what is Atma? The Chaitanya Tattva. The Chaitanya Tattva means the consciousness principle. The consciousness principle which is superior to the intellect, which is the objectifier of even intellect. The consciousness principle which is the subject behind the intellect. That consciousness principle, that Atma is what we should own up to. We would have discussed this earlier, but I am going to review this. There are five, we can say, what is the five nature of consciousness can be explained in 5 points. What is the nature of consciousness? When I say consciousness, we'll have to just replace it with who am I? Nature of consciousness is not part, product or property of the body. Consciousness, I am not part of the body. I am not a product of the body. I am not a product of the body meaning what? The body produces, say, blood. Blood is a product of the body. Consciousness is not product of the body. It is not prepared by the body. It is not a property of the body. So I should not say I am fat, I am black, I am dark, I am fair. It's not a property of the body. So what is consciousness? Consciousness is an independent entity. It is different from the body. It is an independent entity. And where is it there? Which pervades the body. It pervades the entire body. And what does it do? It enlivens the body. It is the life principle. It is the one that gives the life principle. It enlivens the body. Okay, it pervades the body. Is it limited by the body? No. The third point. Consciousness is not limited by the boundaries of the body. Consciousness is present everywhere. It is like the light principle. We'll come to the light principle. We'll be able to understand this. So, does the consciousness die? Is there death? Consciousness survives even after the fall of the body. When the body falls, it is called as death. Does the consciousness also go along with it? No, consciousness survives even after the fall of body. Now, if the consciousness survives, where am I? Where can I see that? You cannot see that. That surviving consciousness cannot interact because of a lack of medium. There is a lack of medium. There is no physical body for it to interact, and therefore you are not able to recognize consciousness. The example we give is that light pervading the hand. So you see the hand, you are able to see my hand. Now the hand you are able to see, that's because of the light pervading the hand. The light is not limited by the boundaries of the hand. Just as the bounding light is all pervading but beyond the hand. But you do not see the light. If I take away the hand, in outer space there is only darkness. Does it mean that there is no sunlight or moonlight? Or there is no sunlight? No, there is sunlight. The stars have their light. But because there are no bodies where it can reflect, it is dark. Similarly, there is light. Even after I remove my hand, there is light here. But we are not able to recognize it. Similarly, the consciousness in the body and beyond the boundaries of the body. But for us to be able to interact, the consciousness needs, for the consciousness to interact, it requires a medium. So this Sat, Chit, Ananda, Atma, one should know. It is not just to know, we should learn to train our mind to own up to this formless consciousness. We are formless, we are immortal, we are all pervading. When I say we, it's only I. There is only one thing. When I say I, we doesn't matter, it does not arise at all. There is no plural. There is only one consciousness. The formed body is not real I. This shaped body is not the real I. The formless consciousness is the real I. One Western author, apparently Wayne Dyer, he writes, he says, and he's been influenced by Indian philosophical teaching. He says, when you shift the I from the formful body, formed body to the formless consciousness, that is called as transformation. When I recognize Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, I am that Shiva which is consciousness principle. It's all nice to hear, but what happens after the class is over? We are able to recognize, we are able to identify, but after the class is over, the good old miserable limited entity, the bitter personality, the angry, restless, irritable character shows up. That person comes up. So what we have to do is constantly keep ourselves engaged in satsanga, so that we are able to constantly feed this into the subconscious mind. So when someone says something or does not say anything, also we get irritated, unhappy, and all those things. When someone does not talk to us, when someone seems to be ignoring us, when someone seems to be, we get irritated, we get angry, or when someone finds fault in us, we become grumpy. We are not able to remain in this jnana. We do know that I, the Atma, I am different from all these things, but this we are not able to retain this knowledge. This knowledge should be available for us in time of need. That is known as jnana nishta. That is the time when we are able to say how we are able to convert this knowledge into emotional personality. That is what Bhagavan refers here as samstabhya. Samstabhya. Swikritya. Swikritya means study in this teaching. Internalize this teaching. Sthita prajna bhava. Samstabhya atmanam. Steady your knowledge on Atma. Steady your mind in this knowledge. To get this knowledge, to get this understanding is very difficult. For us to logically think and get ourselves convinced with conviction, okay, what it makes sense. Logically to understand itself is difficult. Now, even if we are able to understand it, it is even more difficult to protect it or retain it. It's the same thing with slokas. We try to memorize slokas with a lot of difficulty. That is called as yogam. Then what happens? If we don't chant for 15 days or so, after that when we chant, everything will be going in place. The 14th sloka, third line will come to in the third sloka place, fifth sloka will come to the 7th place, whatever. What does that indicate? Memorize is difficult, yes, but to retain it in our memory is even more difficult. To earn money is difficult. To retain that is even more difficult. We have to put in effort. That's why Bhagavan says, To attain this knowledge is difficult, but to retain that attained knowledge requires even more effort. That is called as nididhyasanam. How do I retain? Bhagavan says, Atmana. Atmana here means with intellect. Swabuddhya. So retain this knowledge, Bhagavan says. Then what has to be done next? Says, Jahishatrum Mahabaho Kamarupam Durasadam. Jahishatrum Mahabaho. Mahabaho means person with long hands, huge hands. Arjuna. O Arjuna, Jahi. Jahi means kill. Who? Kill who? Shatrum, the enemy. Kill the enemy. When Bhagavan says kill the enemy, Arjuna should be thinking, Arjuna could think Duryodhana, okay, I'll kill the enemy. But then Bhagavan says, Arjuna, who am I referring to enemy? He says Kamarupam. Kamarupam. Kill the enemy in the form of desire. Kill the enemy that is in the form of desire in your mind. The desire is the biggest enemy. Kill them, kill it, conquer the enemy which is in the form of desire. Then finally, the last word in this sloka, Bhagavan accepts a fact of life here, the truth here. He says, to say kill the enemy, conquer the desire. But the desire does not go out of the mind. Bhagavan says, yes, I accept. And therefore, Bhagavan gives an adjective for the desire. It says, Durasadam. Durasadam means incomprehensible. Which means it is very difficult to understand. It is elusive. Desire is not easy to conquer, to kill, because it is elusive. We don't even know how the desire exists in our mind. Sometimes we do not even know that these kind of desires are in our mind. It is so difficult. As I said, only when we actually get a situation where our likes and dislikes can actually, the vasanas, the likes and dislikes come out in the form of desire. So we don't even know whether they exist. And even when the desire comes out, it comes out on its own. We take it as our natural swabhava. So every time we have been able to conquer or overcome a desire, we can celebrate actually. Every time I have been able to overcome an attachment, a desire, it's a call for celebration. Because it is so difficult. So Bhagavan says Durasadam. So the essence or purport of this sloka is Arjuna thus knowing the self which is beyond the intellect. Param buddhi. And steadying the knowledge with intellect. Samstabhya atmanam atmana. Steadying the knowledge with the intellect. Only then, Kamarupam, Jahishatrum Mahabhav. Conquer the enemy, kill the enemy, which is in the form of desire. Durasadam, this elusive, incomprehensible desire. So thus Bhagavan concludes this chapter by saying, remove the desires. And he gave a two-step process. You remember, one is Shamaha and Damaha. Then the second step is Atma Jnana, which is the ultimate solution. And once Kama is handled, automatically Krodha is automatically handled. As we conclude this chapter, next week I will give a summary of this chapter. After that, we will take 2 sessions for people to give a summary of what they have understood. It can be a minimum of 5 to 7 minutes, at least to 15 minutes to 20 minutes. It's fine. I want people to actually prepare, because this is not a pravachanam where you come and hear, feel good about it and go. This is actually a class. Rightfully, people should be taking notes, should be able to refer it back, should be able to internalize it, should be able to read it again and again, listen to it again and again. So please come prepared for the next, not for the next session, but the session afterwards. I'm happy if you want to put in some, I want to actually cover only Slokas 212 to 225. I want to actually give an explanation on that. Or if somebody says, I want to talk about Jnana Yoga only, I want to talk about Karma Yoga only, or I want to know how actually the relationships between Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are there, you can choose the topic that you want to talk about. The idea is when you express yourself, you also know whether you've understood it correctly, and also kind of these sessions will also help you to internalize this knowledge better. Before I close, any questions or comments? That will be fine.
Great initiative, Guruji. Great initiative coming up. Like you said, it is really helping us internalize some of the teachings, right? So it's like a little more devoted learning process, trying to get some notes and all of it. So it really allows it to internalize. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, if not, we'll close this. Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Karma Yogo Nama Tritiyo Dhyayah. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.